Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Woman to Woman Show. It's Trey Kearney, and I am so happy to be back. I hope everybody's having a great week. I know I am. So, some changes have been made. It's a little different this week. I am filming from home, which is a good thing, so I can be here for my children. And I'm also in the middle of hiring a production team. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about who we'll be working with. Um, it's just some exciting things going on for the Woman to Woman show. We have some new correspondents. We have some new segments going on. We have some new sponsors that I'm excited to share with you guys. I've partnered with some new people. I've partnered with a domestic violence community. I've partnered with a depression community where they have depression and domestic violence support. I've gotten a lot of inboxes and comments about domestic violence and depression and different issues that women have. That's not my platform. My platform here is to hold women accountable for honoring and guarding each other's relationships. My platform here is to talk to women about not sleeping with each other's husbands, and not sleeping with each other's men in particular, and just respecting each other as women. So that's my platform, but I want to make sure that I have the resources for every woman that reaches out to me, for every woman that sends me an inbox. I want to make sure whatever it is that you need from me, I've partnered with somebody in order to give you that. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm excited about the partnerships that I'm forming. There's so many people reaching out to me and just embracing this movement, and I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone on Facebook. Oh my goodness, all the likes and everything. I just appreciate you so much. I appreciate you engaging with me. I appreciate the women who have really accepted my offer to support you. I'm only here to support you. There's no strings attached. I'm not trying to charge you anything. I'm not trying to be in your business. I'm not trying to gossip. I'm just here to support you because I wish that I had the support that I'm trying to give when I was going through my go through. I've been through some things on account of lying, cheating, being misled. I've been through some things on account of myself being a mistress when I thought I wasn't a mistress because my reasoning was different. It wasn't like I was sneaking around, or it wasn't like I was trying to be conniving or whatever. But if a man is married and you're dealing with him, you're a mistress. So I had to really come to terms with that with myself and realize that's exactly what I was. I was a side chick. I was a mistress. And a lot of times we make excuses for ourselves and saying, well, it's this or it's that, or he wants to be with me and I want to be with him. He doesn't want to be with his wife. I don't want to be with my husband. But in all actuality and reality, if you don't want to be with somebody, you leave. You don't drag their feelings on, and you don't do things that are hurtful. You leave. If a man wants to be with you, he won't be with another woman. And if a woman wants to be with a man, she won't be with another man. So all the excuses that are made, and the tangle web we weave in order to deceive, making up excuses on holidays of why I didn't want to be home, and him making up excuses of why he couldn't be with me. It was just a lot of madness. And during that time, my family had got worn out for me. They had really gotten worn out for me. I had lost close friends. I had relatives who stopped speaking to me because of my bad behavior. And right now, back then, I was very angry with these people. Like, you should support me and back me no matter what. I just want to be happy. Right now, I applaud those people for not being that part of that crowd of, if Trey is happy, I'm happy. We tend to do that when we're family members. And if we have a family member who's actually doing something that they shouldn't be doing, we support them as opposed to the person who they're doing wrong because we feel like that's my cousin, that's my sister, that's my daughter. No, wrong is wrong and right is right. And that's the way we have to start living. We have to start rethinking this thing called life. We have to really start holding people accountable for their garbage. We have to hold people accountable for their mess. Like, if your friend is your friend and they agreeing with everything you do, they're not really a friend. Because if your friend is a real friend, they'll take that risk of losing you to see you do the right thing, to see you be in a good place. Like, they don't want to see people talking behind your back, or they don't want to see you going down a path of losing everything that you've worked so hard for. So I'll be actually having my very good friend soon come on the show to talk about my process that they watched. They sat around and watched. They were hurt. Like I said, some of them I lost contact with for years because they didn't want to deal with it. And then some of them were my ride or dies. And they were like, yo, I love you to death. You're doing something wrong, but I don't want to not be around you. So it can go both ways. But I now have a relationship with my friends where I tell my friends, my core friends, well, I have 4 core friends, the core 4, they know to check me. They know to say, yo, you messy right now. Like, nah, you can't be doing that, Trey, at the risk of losing a friendship. That's what real friends do. They keep it real with you. So I've given them permission to call me out. And if you have real friends that you really, really, really respect and that relationship is worth fighting for, you have to give them permission to call you out. Your girl's got to give you permission to call them out. That's when you know people are grown. I'll be 45 years old on November 26th, and I have to do better right now. I have to do better for my children. I have 3 sons. I have to do better for them. I have to set an example for them so that they know what a healthy relationship looks like. And for a long time, they didn't. They didn't know what a healthy relationship looked like because they thought what I was doing was normal. So at this point in my life, I am open and willing to share with my sons what a healthy relationship looks like so that to all the parents out here, to all the parents out there who are listening to me, to all the parents who have children, daughters that are my son's age, you can count on me that I'm raising my boys and I'm reprogramming some things in their mind and I'm revisiting some things in my own mind to let them know that mom made mistakes and that's not the real thing that you do to a woman, and that's not the right thing, not the real thing. That's not the right thing that you do in a relationship, so that they understand how to treat a woman. Because this is a cycle that's going on right now. This is a cycle of us raising children who don't know what normal is. The dysfunction has become normal in so many homes. Dysfunction has become normal to so many young people that they're becoming dysfunctional adults. And for me, it starts with me and it stops right here. So I just want to go a little bit further into the accountability of women. A lot of women have a problem with me removing men from the equation because there's a blame game going on. And I don't choose to play the get blame game with anybody. I don't choose to play the blame game with any woman that I'm dealing with. The truth of the matter is, it starts with us as women first. And, maybe there'll be a man-to-man show one day and it'll start with them. But I'm here to hold women accountable. Men can tell you, I'm leaving my wife. She's not nice to me. I'm just there for the children. I'm just there because if I leave, I won't have anything. I won't have anywhere to live. They can tell you a whole bunch of different things. You remove them from the equation. When a man tells you, I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, I live with my baby's mama, we just live together because we pay bills together, we live together to raise the children together. You have the right to say no. And not only do you have the right to say no, you have the right to ask questions. A lot of times as women, we won't go ask the questions. We won't ask another woman. I don't know why. Because we have access to that woman. And if it is what it is, why would that man not want you to be in contact with that woman or ever bring you around? Ladies, we really got to think about some things. Because there may be some situations where a man is actually living in a house with a woman and nothing's going on. He lives downstairs, she lives upstairs. But that's wide open. Everything should be transparent in a relationship. If it is a monogamous relationship and there is no cheating going on and no deception, everything should be transparent. If there is a discrepancy and there's no transparency, something is wrong, because you should be able to have a conversation with the person you're dating, their children's mother. Once you get into a serious relationship, you can have a conversation with that person. You can even have a relationship for the children, because if you're dealing with somebody else's children, you should have a relationship with that mother. And it shouldn't be hard. The only time it's hard to have a relationship with the mother is when there are still feelings involved. The only time when it's hard to have a relationship with the mother is when something is going on. And at the end of the day, anything should be able to be resolved with two grown women unless there's something going on. So, ladies, we have to say no to other people's husbands. I just want you to understand that. I want you to process that in your mind, not as me judging you or taking a direct hit at you. I want you to understand that women are being hurt, that we're hurting each other. Every time we don't say no to somebody's husband, we cause a vicious cycle of a trickle down of a woman being hurt. And I'm not only talking about somebody's wife, I'm talking about somebody's daughter, I'm talking about somebody's grandmother. So I talked a little bit about Solange last week. I put out a little video because I was very concerned about that whole situation, because if those women had decided to just say no, the whole family dynamic will be changed for the better. If those women had just said no because they knew that Matthew Knowles was married, and that's my concern for women, is that what is it in you that makes you all right with knowing that you're going to hurt another woman if she finds out about the situation? What is it in you that makes you think that it's all right to be with somebody else's husband in a secret way? I would like for women to really email me, inbox me. If you're seeing somebody's husband, I'm not here to exploit you or expose you. You will be kept anonymous. I would just like to hear your answers to the questions, because my answers are probably so very different than yours for the reasons why I was with somebody else's husband. But I had to come to the reality that whatever the reason is, it's wrong. I'm going to say that one more time. Whatever the reason is, it's wrong. We don't belong with somebody else's husband. We don't belong with somebody else's boyfriend. A lot of times it's when we say, well, he ain't married. Okay, well, if he's in a serious relationship with somebody and she thinks that it's just them, that's disrespectful, it's deceitful, and it's just not nice to hurt another woman. I had a cousin who went through the process of being cheated on. And she was so hurt that, she stayed with me and we worked it out, because that's why I'm here, because I want to support somebody through the pain of this trauma. She couldn't get out the bed to feed her children. She couldn't get herself together. She couldn't do her hair. She just couldn't function. And the sad part about the whole situation is the woman who her husband was cheating with was a friend of hers who came in her house and spent time with her children, who came to the house on holidays and smiled in her face. I'm saying to women, there is no man that important, because if he does it with you, he'll do it to you, regardless of whether you think he is or not, or it never happened. He's just sneaky enough in the situation because he learned from being in the situation with you how to be more sneaky and how to get around. He just learned some more tricks by dealing with you. And I was I'm sorry, that was a sidebar. I got a little off keel. I'm back. I was upset about Solange's wedding because her father wasn't there, because these women just didn't say no. And like I said on my video before, I'm not even excusing Matthew Knowles for his behavior, but we're removing him from the equation and saying that if, as women, we guarded each other's relationships, if as women, these two women cared about Tina Knowles' feelings, how different this would be for Beyonce, how different this would be for Solange, how different this would be for the two children that are involved from the other two women. Your daughter, who is, I think she was 6 when I saw the story, one day is going to be grown and get married, and her father's not going to be there, just like he wasn't there for Solange. So it's a vicious cycle that continues to go on and on and on and on and on. And then these people think that after everything is said and done, that Beyonce and Solange should come with open arms to their children. Why should they have regard for your children when you didn't have regard for their mother's children? You have to think about these things when you're making decisions. Why should they care about your daughter when you didn't care about somebody else's daughter? You're sitting on different platforms saying, oh, I hope one day that they'll come and they'll embrace their sister. And, I hope they care about her feelings. Why should they care about her feelings? Which I hope one day that they get to a point where they remove everything from the equation and they do get to bond with their sister, because the children shouldn't suffer for what the adults do. But why should they care about you and your daughter? Ask yourself that question. Why should another woman's children, whose home you came in and wrecked, care about you and your child now? Why should they have consideration for you when you had no consideration for their family? You had no consideration for their marriage. You had no consideration for their mother. Why should they care about you? And like I said, this is a vicious cycle for those other two little girls who were brought into this. I think it's two girls. I know it's one girl. I'll check that out. Who were brought into this, who are one day going to get married, and one day you're going to have to explain to them why their father is not there. That's the one thing I want women to understand. When we have adverse behavior and we have children, we have young children, eventually they grow up. And then they know, and then they come to you and they look at you, and you have to explain yourself for your behavior that is unexplainable because you knew better as an adult that there are some things that you shouldn't do. Like, my son is 20 years old now. I have to face him every day and know that he knew way more than I thought he knew when he was 5. I should say 9. That's about the time when things went awry in my mind. So he talks to me now, and I mean, we've had conversation, and I will be airing an interview that he did where he talked about the effects of this on him and how he felt. I haven't seen the interview yet, but I'll view it with you guys when you view it, and I'll actually give you my live reaction to me hearing this for the first time. But we have conversations about this, and he knows a lot of things, and he's 20 years old now, and I was embarrassed when we first talked about this. I was embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, I did that, and my son is a man now, and he's looking at me as a grown woman. He's like, yo, Ma, like, what's up? Like, you got to realize that your kids are going to look at you one day as adults. So I'm just like, you have to think about your choices now. And I'm here because I want to hold you accountable for your choices, because when you're being held accountable, you make better choices. And when you make better choices, you have a better life. Trust me, I know I am making better choices, because a lot of times we have to remember that it's not about us. It's not about us. We have to remember that it's about other people. When you start making choices and you start making choices about yourself, it's selfish and it's ego and it's pride and it's about me. You have to think about it, especially when you have children. And as women, we have to always think about that, because maybe we don't have children now, but one day we're going to have children, and they'll see our behavior and they'll know some things and they'll see some things that we just can't erase. So I also wanted to just say, if as women, we make better choices for other women will make better choices for us. We have to lead by example. It starts with us. Please, ladies, don't do something to hurt another woman. Don't do something that you wouldn't want somebody to do to you, because it's just not fair. It's just not fair to families. Families are being torn apart, and I'm here. The Woman to Woman show is about restoring hope in families after infidelity. The Woman to Woman show is about holding women accountable for guarding each other's relationships, respecting each other's relationships, and just respecting each other as women. And I will not, a lot of people just want me to be quiet, but I won't be quiet about this. A lot of people want me to have other subjects and other topics and things of that nature. No, I won't divert from the topic and the subject that God put on my heart to talk about, because this is very important. There are so many single homes now because of infidelity. We have to stop this vicious cycle. And like I said, ladies, it starts with us. We can change the world. We can change the world by simply just saying no when we know somebody's in a relationship with somebody else. It's just that simple. It's not a major question. It's about your integrity. It's about the content of your character. It's about who you are. At the end of the day, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. And it took me years and years and years and years. And then to this day, sometimes I still feel some kind of way about myself. But by the grace of God, I thank God that I can get past those feelings, because I'm no longer condemned, or I'm no longer feeling the shame and the guilt that I once felt. But it took me a long time to get past the shame and the guilt of hurting people the way that I did. So I just want you to understand that there are consequences for your actions, that one day you're going to look and karma's going to be knocking on your door. So it could either be good karma or it could be bad karma. And I also want to talk about during this time of the holidays. I don't know if I'll be on next week because I'll be with my family for Thanksgiving and for my birthday. I'm so excited. So I want to talk about the pain of the holidays for women who have been cheated on, for women who went through adultery, who got divorces on account of that, and who this is, a lot of people, this is their first year of being alone. Some people, it's every year, it's 5 years, it's 10 years of going through that hurt and that pain. And I just want you to know that we're here for you. If you need to talk to somebody during the holidays, please, by all means, inbox me. I will respond. I will be checking my email, my Facebook, my Twitter. I'll be checking all of that. You can really just I give out my personal email address. It's wtrayk at yahoo.com. wtrayk at yahoo.com. wtrayky at yahoo.com. You can inbox me and I'll definitely speak to you during the holidays, because I don't want anybody to feel alone and depressed during the holidays because of a breakup. That's the hardest times to think about what you've been through, especially when you're going through it. That is the hardest thing to go through during, Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's very hard to go through this alone, and it's very hard to talk about it with your family, especially if they've been through a cycle of, years and years of this. They don't really want to hear about it. So that's why I'm here to lend my support. You can also email me at w2wshow@gmail.com. W2, the number, W show at gmail.com. I'm sorry, I just opened up that email account just so I know that it's coming from somebody who really needs some help. I just want to be alert and aware, because I know this is a hard time during the holidays. And I know this is a hard time all the time, to be lied to, cheated on, misused, abused, all in the name of love. I so get it. Like, I really get it. You know how I got that misused, abused, because my niece said that to me one time. She made me so mad. She told me I had lost my mind because all of this that I was going through, and she knew about it, but she said, "You have lost your mind. You being misused, abused, all in the name of love." And I will never forget that day, because I was heated with her. I hung up on her and I was just like, how dare she say that to me? I raised her. But she was 100% right. But until we're ready, we don't want to hear that. We want to be mad at people who are like, yo, open up your eyes. This person is really doing you dirty. What's the matter? So that's how I came up with that little phrase. Have you been cheated on, lied to, misused, and abused, all in the name of love? Well, this is the show for you. Well, I'm here, and my main purpose here is because I am all about healing. I'm all about the healing process. I'm all about helping women. I'm all about supporting women. I'm all about women supporting me, because I may need you. I have a support system, and I love my girls because they support me, and I love them now because they're comfortable enough to tell me about my mess. And they weren't always comfortable because I wasn't comfortable. And I would be like, well, you know what? I don't need you. Don't call me. You don't know what you're talking about. Mind your business. Making up excuses for him. And they were like, I'm just trying to tell you what I know and what I see. And I'm just trying to tell you, you keep telling me the same things over and over again. And when somebody says something to you, you want to get mad. So like I said, I'm here. I don't want to go too long because, we'll be taping our shows. There'll be an hour again soon. I don't want to drag on and all of that, but I do want to let you know that we are here to support you through the holidays. Please go to the Woman page on Facebook. Go to the website, www.the2wshow.com. And, leave your comments. Please, ladies, please. Another thing, please share your stories. Please share your stories of success. Please share your stories of how it hurt. Because when you share your story, you are actually healing somebody else. Your story is not for you. You didn't go through that just for you. You went through that for somebody else. Trust me. I am so happy to know that what I went through was not in vain. I was like, God, why am I going through this? Like, what is wrong with me? And now that I know everything that I went through was for somebody else's healing, that is so comforting for me to know that everything that I went through was for somebody else's healing. I just want you ladies to reach out to me and not be ashamed and not think that I'm looking for something from you, or that somebody wants to gossip, or somebody's going to know your shame and all that. There's no shame in being hurt. There's no shame in making a mistake. Like, a lot of times we think that because we're not addicted to food, addicted to drugs, addicted to a substance, that we don't have a problem. Yes, you can be addicted to a person. You really can. You can be addicted to love. You can be addicted to the feeling of love. So a lot of times we negate our feelings because we think it's a person. So I can't go and tell somebody I have a problem, because that's not really a problem. Yes, it really is a problem, and it really hurts. It really hurts in the midnight hour to want somebody. And I said to myself, now that I'm healing, because I'm not all the way healed. I don't think anybody is ever all the way healed from their process. I think it's a process for the rest of our life, because it gives us compassion to, heal while we're listening to other people's stories, because there's always something in our life that we need to heal from. But it's just a wonderful thing to be able to share your story and it resonate and help somebody. So please, if there's any topic that you would like to talk about that pertains to this, I have a list of topics that I'll be talking to you about. I'll be talking to you about daughters going through this, what it does to them as, young ladies. I'll be talking about the excuses that men give. I'll be talking about the other chicks that, the side piece, the option. I'll be talking to you about where to go for help. I'll be talking to you about the shame and embarrassment and the guilt. I can't give too much away because I'm in the process right now of writing a book. Yay! So I'll just talk on these topics very, not vaguely, but enough to get you to the point where maybe you can start healing, and maybe you can feel comfortable enough to ask for help, because it's okay to ask for help. Don't ever think that it's not okay to ask for help, because it's okay to ask for help. And for a long time, I wasn't willing to ask for help, and I am now. And I just feel so good because I'm a changed person. A lot of times people say, never say never, say never, say never. I would never sleep with another woman's husband. I would never sleep with another woman's boyfriend. I would never sleep with another woman's man who lives with her and he's giving me excuses. If you're in the house with her, that's not for me. If you're still married, that's not for me. If you're still in a relationship and you guys are, trying to drift off or trying to sever ties, that's not for me. When you come to me, and I hope all women will feel this way one day, when you come to me, you need to be 100% unattached to anybody. You need to be 100% single, and you need to be 100% grown, because a lot of people make up excuses, and that's a sign of immaturity. And I want ladies to know that any excuse is just an excuse. Don't fall for it, please. And we want love so bad. And the first man come along and give us attention when we coming out of a breakup. We want love so bad. We're like, oh, well, he said, and this and that. If you can't check your source by talking to the other woman he used to be with, there's a problem. Because anybody, like, if my ex has a new woman and she wants to ask me a question, by all means, please ask. I will let you know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And another thing, ladies, we have to stop lying for these men. I've done it. I did it. I'm guilty. I raised my hand. I lied to the man's wife. Oh my God. I was like, after thinking about it, after all these years, I'm like, wow, I told a bold-faced lie to this woman who was just compassionately asking me what was going on, because she knew her gut instinct was telling her, and I lied. So when women act like, I wouldn't lie for no man. Ladies, stop lying for him. Do not lie to another woman for a man. We got to stop that. We will sit back and be like, oh, no, ain't nothing going on. Knowing he was at your house last night. Oh, no, ain't nothing going on. No, we not. Knowing that you are having a full-blown relationship because he's telling you something. Oh, I'm breaking up with her. Just give me some time. I just wanted to be smooth, or she ain't going to let me see my kid. Don't lie to another woman. Ladies. We have to stand up for each other, and we have to be honest with each other. If a woman comes to you or has the opportunity or finds your phone number and her man's phone, or she sees you somewhere and she asks you, are you with my man? If you're with her man and he's telling you he's not her man, please tell her yes. Say yes, because he told me that you were not with him. He told me whatever his excuses, please tell her. And then walk away for your own sake. Like, please walk away from your own for your own sake. Because if he's lying to you now, listen, this is so crazy and I didn't realize it. If he's with another woman, he's cheating on you too. Just because you're the side chick or the mistress, he's cheating on you too. He's doing it to you too. Why don't we realize this? Why don't we see this when we're in the moment? Like, well, he's going to leave her, whatever, this and that, and he's a good man. No, he's not. And I'm not saying, let me take that back. He may be a good man, but he hasn't matured to a grown man. And what we want is a grown man, because you have to be a grown man first in order to be a good man. So just realize he's cheating on you too when he's cheating on his wife or his girlfriend. Like, you're not getting anything special. And let me tell you this too. Don't think for 1 second that you are any better than the wife or the girlfriend. Don't think for 1 second you got something so special that this ain't never going to happen to you. Because yes, it is going to happen to you too. Trust and believe. He's not ready. If he's cheating, he's not ready. He's not ready for either one of you. But if he's in a marriage, back out of the situation and respect that union and give that man a chance to grow up. Because if enough of us tell him no and be honest with him, like, yo, nobody wants to be with you and you cheating on your wife, who do you think you're talking to? If enough women tell him this, he may grow up. He may go home and say, I am really playing myself right now. But if we continue to support this behavior, none of us have a chance. That's the reality is that none of us have a chance is if as women, it starts with us. The reality of the situation is, I'm going to say this one more time, that none of us really have a chance if we don't guard each other's relationships as women. The only way for us to win is to work together. I don't want yours. I don't want your house. I don't want your car. I don't want your kids. I don't want your money. Now we got to get to the point where we don't want each other's men. I'm going to say this. This is me saying this to all the women out here. When you see me walk in the room with your man, I don't want your man. Understand? I'm 100. I don't want your man. I mean that with everything that I am. You don't have to worry about me. And I would love to see all women put up a pledge on Facebook, on your Facebook page. I don't want your man. When I walk in a room, you don't have to worry. I don't want your man. So with that being said, I'm going to get ready to go because I do have some other things to do. You know, Jermaine's not feeling well. Jermaine's my son. I have a son that's 5 who's autistic. I have my son Bryce who's 14 who's upstairs with him right now who is probably getting a runaround. And I have a 20-year-old who is out right now. So I'm going to be sharing more of them with you because they're interested now in being on the show and sharing a little piece of them with you. Not a lot, because the most important thing for me to know, for me to let you know, is that this is not some reality show where we trying to become famous, the famous family, or we trying to, entertain or anything. No, we're actually here to help. We're actually here to share our story because we want some healing to go on. We want people to understand that there is restoration after infidelity. We want people to understand that there is healing after infidelity. We want people to know as parents that you can make a U-turn and show your children that it's okay to make better choices. Even after you've made bad choices, what they need to see is that I can make better choices for you. So I just want, and I want people to understand that from my children's point of view, from when my sons speak, I'm not sure how in depth I'll get with the 14-year-old because I have to sit and talk to him to see how much he really understands. But my 20-year-old, I would like for him to appeal to people his age, to younger people, even, younger people as young as 9 when, things were going on with him, to maybe talk to them and say, you can talk to your parent now. You can let them know that you understand everything that's going on. So the dynamic's going to change a little bit. There'll be a lot more going on the show. So I want you guys to stay tuned. I love you. I thank you for your support. And I have to say, I love talking to you woman to woman. And I also have to say that, please, ladies, Let's guard each other's relationships. Let's respect one another. Let's change this cycle. And I say this all the time. Ladies, we can change the world by just saying no to another woman's husband. We can change the world. I believe in all of you. I believe in all of you. There's no pointing fingers. There's no judgment because we've all did things that we've been ashamed of. But it's time for us to turn this around. It's time for us to start healing. It's time for us to start having more two-parent homes. It's just time. It's a good thing. We've been programmed by society. We've been in dysfunctional families for so long that we don't even know that we're dysfunctional. We're all walking around here with some problems that we really need to address. So let's change it right now, ladies. Please, my sisters, I'm telling you, we can do some dynamic things together if we just protect each other's relationships. Just think about it. You can save somebody's family by saying no. You can save somebody's family by sending their father home. Isn't that just awesome that you can save somebody's family by just one decision that you make to put somebody ahead of yourself? Like, let's do this, ladies. I love you. I love talking to you woman to woman. I am Trey Kearney. You can find us at www.thew2wshow.com. www.thew2wshow.com. We'll see you over there, okay? So if you have any topics, anything, please send them in. We love you. Check out our newsletter. We have a new app coming out. We have a conference that I'm working on, a woman-to-woman conference. I'm going to pull together some dynamic women to talk about health, healing from the inside. All of these different things are going on. I'm writing my book right now. I'm excited to share my life, my story, my healing, my ups, my downs with you to let you know that it can all turn around, that we can all be happy. And I just want to say that I hope that God blesses you. I am praying for you. I love you all. So I'll see you soon. Bye.